Steel Built Gym back here. So, a lot of things have happened since my last video, namely boom. So, but this is just something that we move past, right? Every injury I've ever had is simply something that rededicates me to working out, to be honest with you. It happened while I was playing a sport with some students, and so we're going to move forward and not worry about it, but definitely when you come back from an injury, double down on working harder. Think about who you want to be and who you are, and don't allow any injury to stop you from being that person that you are. So in the past, I always thought of myself as the beast, right? I'm the strongest, biggest, strongest guy in the gym. And when I was 320, 330, I definitely was. Now that I'm not the biggest guy in the gym, I still want to be the strongest guy, human being that I can be, right? So I am the strongest being that God's ever made in my eyes when I hit the gym. Take that energy and use it for recovery. So we're going to do some, because I don't want to stand and do presses, we're going to have to do a lot of upper body stuff for the next couple of weeks. And so we're going to talk about like an overhead press for triceps. Now a lot of people call this a French press. I'm going to show you a couple different variations of that. How to use a dumbbell, how to use single, and how to do a French press with an easy curl bar. Let's get to work. Alright, so I got to swing this stupid thing around, you know what I mean, if you've ever been in a boot. It does hinder a little bit of the way that I walk, but you know what? Ain't no thing but a thing, right? So, first we're going to do the easy curl bar. My positioning is going to be, I'm going to put it over my head, and then we're just going to press out. When you're doing this, though, it used to be like you try and keep your hands as straight as you could and put yourself in an awkward position. I don't advise anyone to do that. I'll show you, we used to do this, the same awkward, stupid position on single dumbbells. When your body is in a weak position, you're not as strong as you should be. You may end up injuring yourself, and you can't put up as much weight. So build that scaffolding. Put yourself in the strongest position that you can be in before you start an exercise. If it feels awkward and weird, don't do it. If it's something new, but it kind of feels awkward, all right, give it a little chance. Use less weight. Figure out how you need to be in that position before you do the workout. Even if you look stupid and all you're doing is body weight. Even if all I'm doing is sitting here doing this. You know what looks even worse? Being injured. Keeping yourself out of the gym because you did something stupid should hurt your feelings way more than getting a true injury, right? So, we're going to pick it up. Again, I'm using light weights at the moment because I'm trying to show you guys how to do these things. This is nowhere near a maximum effort. So, I'm going to pick it up, I go overhead, and I tilt back. Now, my elbows are going to flare out a little bit. It's okay. You can try and get them as straight as you can, but always keep yourself in a good balance. I'm strong, my spine is in a good neutral position, and I feel strong in that position. Now, all I'm doing is trying to press those triceps out. Now, if I get twisted up and I try and go too far out, I'm going to hurt in the shoulders. If I try and go too far in, I'm going to end up not getting as much press, right? So, depending on where you are, how wide you are, how you feel, is going to be your positioning with the hands. Now, this feels good on closer grip, and depending on where you're trying to hit your triceps. Everybody's going to hit a little bit differently. Everybody says, well, this is for the outside of the tricep. This is for this part of the tricep. You have to figure out what's being hit on you with the positioning that you're at. So, overhead, I'm just going to press out. We're going to do this in, again, 3 to 4 sets, or maybe a warm-up set in 4 sets, increasing the weight as we go. Don't be an idiot and go to your maximum amount of weight and try and do that for all 3 or 4 sets. I've seen people do it in the gym all the time. I had a guy who would grab the 100-pound dumbbells and start off with those and only do 3 sets. Well, that's great. You just did 100-pound dumbbells, but you never increased that workout. So from the time that you got there, if you do 3 sets of 10 with that workout, what did you improve on? If that is how strong you are walking in, should not be how strong you are leaving. You could have done more weight, or you could have done it in a different position. You could have changed the tempo. You can do all these things to trick your body into working harder. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? We're trying to build the best physique that we can get. We're trying to be the strongest we can. We're trying to be the most athletic we can. We're trying to build better. And if you're not building better, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. So, with a dumbbell, same thing, but I'm going to put this in almost like a goblet squat position, but instead of cupping it here, I'm going to cup it this way. So, I'm going to grab here, I'm going to grab here, I'm going to put it over, and then I'm just pressing up. I'm trying to work those triceps. If I'm going too fast, I might not feel it in my triceps. If I'm going too slow, I might not get that pump I want either. So figure out what is the best tempo for you, that you really feel that motion. So again, I'm working out for that burn, for that pump. I want that muscle to feel like it can't do another rep when I get done. Now, if I'm doing single, I used to, I would lean and get in these awkward positions and put myself into a position where I wasn't strong. Don't do that. It's taken me 20 years to figure out that put your body in the best possible position to do the most amount of weight, to do the most amount of reps, to make this your workout. Don't look at what everybody else is doing and go, oh, well, I must have to do that because he's doing it this way. Figure it out. It's trial and error. Listen to what your body's saying. Don't copy what you see every guy in the gym. Look up what you're trying to do. Look up how that workout works your triceps. Be smart. So, I'm going to do the same thing, except instead of going this way, I'm going to turn it this way. Now, idiots used to think that this was a shoulder workout, but really what we're doing, we're still extending that tricep, right? So I feel it in my shoulder only because of the position that I'm in. But what I'm really trying to do is grow that tricep, right? I want that tricep to be huge. Why do I want it to be huge? Because this is 2/3 of that arm. If I want to build gigantic arms, biceps look great. But if you want big, strong arms, you also need to work that tricep. So I'm here. And again, I'm doing the same cupping technique. I'm just holding on to that dumbbell. And I'm just working it out. I'm trying to bend that out. Can I lean a little bit more? Maybe. But if my spine starts getting into an awkward position, if I start hurting my back, then what have I achieved? I've injured myself for nothing. For something that I could hit in any different way, but in a way that injures me. So, let's move on to our scripture for today. I'm doing a two-parter because I believe in this scripture, because what I always used to believe about this, I haven't always felt like I was worthy of God's forgiveness and worthy of God's blessing. So when I used to read this, I always put myself in the position of maybe I was those people. The Lord has blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, so that their eyes could not see and their hearts cannot understand, and they cannot turn to me and have me heal them. John 12:40. I always thought of myself as that person that maybe, who was I that God would redeem me? Who was I that he would heal me? At some point, am I that person that is just irredeemable? That just, I've messed up enough, I've done enough where God just washed his hands of me? The answer is no. If you still have a conscience, if you still feel like you're doing wrong, if you still feel like you need God's help, if you still feel like God is who you need to have in your life, you're not too far gone. If you're still angry at things, sometimes people are angry at God because they don't understand why their life got to where it is now. That's okay. For me, though, I've never gotten angry at God, just angry at situations. I know that usually the choices that get me in trouble are my choice. It's when I don't listen to God's rules, it's when I don't listen to what God has intended for me, that I end up going down a bad path and end up screwing myself up, right? So that's not his fault, it's mine. But sometimes when you're in the middle of that depression, anger, you're just so angry, you want something to blame, and it shouldn't be like this. You got to realize that sometimes you got to look deeper, that maybe you got yourself into that situation, or maybe somebody else got you into that situation and you thought you were doing the right thing. But proof that you're not that person is the scripture here, 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has seized you that isn't common for people, but God is faithful. He won't allow you to be tempted beyond your abilities. Instead, with the temptation, God will also supply a way out so that you will be able to endure it. So no matter where you are in your walk with God, he's there with you. He's a good father. He will not leave you abandoned. He will not leave you wanting and lacking. Not for long. Sometimes we feel like we're in that position, and that nothing we can do can get ourselves out of there. And that's the truth. Nothing you can do can get yourself out. But when you succumb and you give it to the Lord, and you open your heart and just say, God, I can't do this my way anymore. I need your help. I need to figure out where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do. That's when you'll find God. That's when you'll find the answers, and that's when God will show up in your life and show you who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to promise you that it's going to be easy, because at no time in my life has it ever been easy. No time when I'm doing the right thing have all the doors just opened up and it's just been, here you go. But I can promise you that when I work my butt off and I'm with God and I get accomplishments, I can realize that there's only one person that I can say got me there, and that's him. There's only one person. There is something to be said for working hard and accomplishing stuff. So now I don't need to feel like I owe people. I don't need to feel like I can feel like I got there by doing the right things. Sometimes when we climb to the top, it's by stepping on others. And that can leave a really bad taste in your mouth later. But if you've done it all the right way, you don't have that feeling. You don't have to feel like you can't sleep at night because of something that you said, or guilt that you have to feel. Just go, I did the best I could today, and that's all I can do. So, enough preaching from me, and enough downer note. But I want you all to get in the gym, to work out, to feel amazing, give your life over to God, and as always, have a great day, and let God be your guide.